We start with developments in the Pacific Palisades.
That's right. We've just learned it will reopen to the public on Sunday.
If you want to get a pass, you can do so on Saturday. What happens on Sunday is those two locations are closed and we will no longer be distributing passes.
The LAPD says they will no longer distribute passes to get into the burn scar area, but the National Guard will still be posted in many areas.
And the LAPD says patrols will continue and officers will remain on 12-hour shifts in the area as people make their way back into the neighborhood. Also, Caltrans says PCH will open at 8 a.m. on Sunday with one lane open in each direction between the McClure Tunnel and Carbon Beach Terrace.
Meanwhile, some people in the Palisades are worried about the removal of hazardous materials and where it will be kept.
Yeah, we're talking about toxic debris that's being collected by the EPA. KCAL's Jeff Nguyen with why some say it's not just a health worry, but also a concern about sacred land.
Since the beginning of this week, this fenced-off piece of state park land has been serving as a staging area for the removal of household hazardous material from the Palisades fire. For environmental activist and actress Bonnie Wright, who appeared in the Harry Potter series, the selection of this location near the intersection of Pacific Coast Highway and Topanga Canyon Boulevard raises concern. In fact, nearly 24 people demonstrated outside the property on Friday.
We feel like it's gone very, very fast. We feel like they haven't consulted us as a community.
The Environmental Protection Agency says this process started 2 weeks ago when the Palisades fire was still burning and available space had to go to fire crews and equipment, utility restoration efforts, and temporary cell towers. So things had to be worked out between federal, state, and local agencies.
Every available piece of property was being used, so this was one of the very few that was available.
The EPA says it is sensitive to the burial sites and the cultural relevance of this land to indigenous people, which is why it reached out to the Chumash Band of Indians.
Who entered into a consultation contract with them as we set up our operations there. So representatives for the tribes.
I'm sure the EPA is only responding to people who are federally recognized, not with the indigenous people of this area.
The EPA says hazardous material will not be processed at the staging area. Instead, that will be done in the burn scars.
They're in drums or yard boxes or some other type of container to prevent a release. And as they come to the staging area, those containers are then consolidated to larger containers and they're shipped off in bulk transportation.
While activists are concerned about the future of this land that's part of a vital ecosystem.
So how do we know that our beautiful creek and our landscape right adjacent to us isn't going to turn into another Superfund site?
Residents say they wish they had a say in the selection of this location. However, the EPA says it is working against time and it can't afford to have a town hall because all of the contaminants need to be picked up as soon as possible. Reporting in Malibu, Jeff Nguyen, KCAL News.